This is Lisa Tucker, host of The Book Cover, which showcases local literary personalities. So listen to The Book Cover on the borderline. And remember, don't judge a book by its cover. Hi, you're listening on The Borderline. This is The Book Cover. I'm Lisa Tucker, and today I have children's author as well as many other means of artistry, Lily Kangas. Hi, Lily.
Hi.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, you've done the writing of these children's books, 7 in all?
Yes, so far.
So far 7, but that's not your only art. Now, I want to just touch on some of the other things you do. So, we were starting to talk, and you said quilting.
Yes.
Now, you've been a quilter for how long?
25 years.
That's a long time.
Yes, but it's enjoyable.
It's probably, if you get the same, I get therapy from doing any type of art. And even though quilting is like the hardest way to make a blanket, it's worth it because they're so beautiful.
And I don't really make blankets. I make art quilts for the wall.
Art quilt. So
yes, I'm an art quilter.
Okay, so you don't put yours on a bed?
No.
Okay.
No, I might do some utility quilts for a couch throw, but it's not something that it's not as fancy as the art quilting that I do.
Right. Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay. So I didn't realize there was one in one. Okay. And you do something else other than writing? Is it just the art? Is just the
retired from teaching.
Oh, right.
Yes.
I didn't want to.
That's okay.
That's another thing. Like teachers, I've had so many teachers on here that became writers of children's books. She's showing. Oh, wow. Okay, so she's showing me one of her quilts right now. And yes, you do not want to put that on your bed.
No, it's just this big. It's just for the wall.
But it's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Oh, my God. That's beautiful. It must take patience.
So there's many.
So you're an artist,
yes.
Period. Let's just put it that way. And book writing is another form of art.
Absolutely.
Now, how did you graduate from quilting, a teacher, primary grade?
Yes.
What grade?
The last grade I was teaching was grade 1-2.
Okay, that's a fun grade. And now how did you graduate to writing books? Now, what sparked it all?
I've been writing my whole life. As a teenager, all teenagers write in journals, they write poetry, and I love doing that kind of thing. My family was very supportive for my writing. In fact, my parents encouraged me to continue with writing and do writing and publish writing and things like that. And I never thought that I had the right idea for that. And it's only as an adult when, you start telling your family stories about your pets that I thought, this would be really fun. And I am looking for another creative outlet for when I retire. And so I only started these in February. But I shared the ideas with my class. And my class was very motivated to do their own writing. Can we do stories like this too? Yes, because it uses the Canva app for the format.
Yes. Okay, I've seen that. Yes.
So, and that's new to me. It was one of the teachers at my school that told me about it. And so I've only been working with it for about a year. And there's lots of really great opportunities to format a story like that.
That's cool. I just started delving into Canva, and I'm exploring all the things that I can do with it. So that's new to me. I'm glad you told me that. And it has a free component to Canva and a paid component. Correct?
Yes, and I pay the paid component so that I can choose more pictures.
Okay.
So I generate the pictures for the stories through Canva using their AI tools, and you have to type in the words and describe, and then you get to choose from a selection of pictures in the format. It could be a cartoon, it could be real life. There's different kind. There's anime. There's all
this is very
different
interesting to me because I've never seen this way of writing a book. That's cool.
I'm feeling my way. This is new to me.
This is really cool because it's more inclusive. Like anybody can do this if you're creative and you've got a story. And I always say there's a story everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's a story.
Exactly.
And now I'm leading that into your story topics. So your story topics were literally in your backyard.
Yes.
Okay, so tell me about your story topics.
My stories are all about our pets. My husband, Chuck, and I have 5 dogs. and they're all from the Humane Society, short of one. So 4 out of 5 are from the Humane Society. We love supporting the Humane Society. One of our dogs, Lila, came from a student at one of the different schools that I taught at, and we were able to have her from them.
So they're all rescues.
Yes.
Because you did rescue Lila.
Yes.
Yeah. So each dog has a book.
Some have 2. Finnegan is the first book in the series, because the story that I started with was about when he got into a box of my wool, and I was out for the evening. Chuck was home, but this dog just ran all through the house and strings everywhere, and Chuck didn't even know. I came home, I said, "Have you been upstairs? Where's the puppy?" And he's like, "Oh, he's probably sleeping." I don't think so. So he came upstairs, we had a good laugh, and he took lots of pictures, of course, and I always put real pictures in the book after, just to show that it is a true story, or it's based on a true story.
And all of your dogs that you've written about, you put their real life pictures in there as well, so kids can see not only the animated AI version, but the real life version of these dogs. So your dogs are famous.
That's right. The kids in my class said the dogs are famous now because they have published books, and I said, wow, never thought of it that way.
Right? They need their own Instagram account. Each dog.
I'll have to work on it.
Yeah, you'll have to work on it. So 5 different Instagram accounts. While you're busy doing quilting and writing books.
Of course.
So the first book, then, it sounds like Finnegan basically wrote it for you.
It was a story that I've always had a fun time telling that story, and everyone always got a big kick out of it. So when they read the actual book, they're like, "I remember when you told me that story." And of course, I've written it with a poetic element, so it's a rhyming book, so it flows even.
And I always
equally.
love those. Being a lover of Robert Munch,
yes,
I love the rhymes, because those are, I think they're easier. They're not lyrical, but melodical.
Yes, melodic.
Yes, that's right. And the way the children, if they're beginning to read, it's easier for them to, I don't know if it's easier, but it's fun.
It is, because they can make a prediction on what the rhyming word is.
That's right. I love it. And obviously, I'm going to say that these are geared to grade 1 and 2.
It could be up to grade 4. Okay. So I would estimate the ages between ages 5 to 9. Okay. Now, some of the other stories, so I'm just flipping the book here. The hide and seek one uses Roxy as the main character, and I came up with this story as if she was hiding from me. But as you know, dogs like to follow you around the house, but I'm not able to find her after she had, gone through a mud puddle, and that's not the true part. But she likes to follow me, and not to ruin the ending, but at the end I find her beside me, because I used all positional language. So are you in the bed, under the table, on top of, beside, near? So these are all positional language, which is grade 1 and 2, or a kindergarten. Those are things that, so it's a fun story. The pictures accent the story, and it rhymes. So that's a rhyming one. That's the second one.
I love it. Roxy Roo.
Yeah.
You have to have a funny name for a dog. Like, you just don't call it Roxy.
No. All of my dogs have middle names.
Of course.
Because I don't have children. So
these are your children.
That's right.
Goodness.
This one is about, this one's called The Art of the Dodge. It's the book number 3. And I've decided this is the Doghouse series. I have a goal of 10 books in that series. This one is about Charlotte chasing the squirrel, because she loves to run in the backyard and chase whatever squirrel is in the backyard. And it turns out this summer, while I was in the backyard, I saw that we actually have a red squirrel in our backyard. So now it is a very true story. And this one is written as a song.
Oh, okay.
And my friend Jill McPhee played the tune on the piano for me, and we put it on a QR code just in case someone has not heard the tune. So the tune is that old song, and again, if you're my age, you would know this song, Over Hill, Over Dale, dun 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 dun. Now, that one is over 75 years old. It's a U.S. Army song, and because it's past its copyright, it's free for me to rewrite, so I wrote that book with a tune.
I'm
so
you
would read the whole thing in a song, and it flows very quickly. You get to hear the story, see the story, And that's one of my favorite ones. And so I did book number 7 also in a tune. So
this is this one here.
That's the Bad to the Bone one.
Bad to the Bone. And this stars?
And that is Stewie. And he's not my dog. He's Ms. Mamarella's dog.
And this is a coworker.
And this is a coworker. And this was her dog. And she asked me to tell his funny story because he's a master thief. And so I wrote this book with a bit of a blues riff.
Oh, okay.
So you'd start with, Stewie's a dachshund, got little legs and small feet. So you'd say, da 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 da, da 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 da.
But that doesn't stop him when he's craving a treat. That's so fun.
So then you want to pick these books up again and again. Kids love to hear these stories. They kept asking to hear the stories, and they loved Finnegan, and they kept requesting Finnegan, but they wanted to hear them all. And they said, "When's your next book?"
So fun. I don't know if you know the one by Sandra Boynton. It's Dum Diddy Dum Diddy Dum Dum Dum.
Yes.
Okay. So this is what this reminds me of, because I would always sing that song or sing the book to my kids. You know, the Dum Diddy Dum finger thumb dum diddy. Anyway.
I love that. I know that. That was, it's a song that gets stuck in your head.
Yes.
I did this a lot as a teacher. We often rewrote songs from the radio, and this is going off tangent. We wrote songs from the radio and put our science terminology in it. So I've been doing that for at least 10 years. I'm sure I have enough songs for an album. So you would take the Shake It Off song, and we did it with a theme for the plants. So it would be photosynthesis is the process of making food for plants. Mm-hmm. Making food for plants.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. And we did that with all the science that I was teaching in grade 2, 3, and 4.
How smart.
Well, fun. And you know what?
Fun.
It's teaching poetry writing. It's teaching science terminology. And you know what? It's teaching study habits for the future, so that when they are studying as a university or college student, this is a mnemonic technique to learn. To learn.
And I know this from having my stepfather's had a stroke. So I know that singing is a different part of the brain. So you're exercising a different part of your brain and maybe keeping all that science info in the song part of the brain.
Absolutely.
Rather than, how cool.
Absolutely.
Well, you got to have where's your science series?
I'm not there. Plus, I didn't have copyright on those.
Oh,
so
right,
I can't really publish those.
That might be difficult to get Taylor Swift, although
I've done Eye of the Tiger. We've done, I'm trying to think of the other ones, Maroon 5, a couple of those, One Direction, that was Magnetic Force.
So fun.
It's a song that gets stuck in your head, and you will not sing anything else. So those songs come on the radio, and you're not singing that song anymore, you're singing our song. Because we write it as a group, we write it as a class, we brainstorm all the words. And so writing is important, and I love teaching writing and reading.
Wow.
And so by sharing these stories, I'm writing them in a poetic way in order to keep the interest, keep the flow. Some of them are not written with rhyming. So this fourth book, The Escape Artist, is about our dog, Lila, who came to us as a little puppy, and she got stuck in the fence because she kept crawling under the fence and finding herself on the other side. Of course, Chuck was out of town that weekend. I had to call my dad to come and break the fence with a crowbar because I didn't have a crowbar. So we had to break the fence to get her out. But in the back of the story, because I used some of the unfamiliar language to kids today, things like lo and behold.
Yes.
And so I made a glossary, but I was teaching glossary this year in grade 2, and the kids were very excited that I put a glossary in the back of this book. They knew exactly what a glossary was, that it explains what words mean, so that you can go back to the story and reinterpret.
You know what? From all of this, all I see is a passion for teaching and learning. No matter, because it's all done. And I said it's all done in the way that a teacher would do it. It's organized. Where your font is different for your dogs as opposed to a dog, like a neighbor dog.
Right.
It's so organized. I love this.
Well, and they're different color coordinations.
And you've color coordinated. Each dog has their own color.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Because it would look good on the shelf.
Yeah, it would. You know what? I did a resume one year in pink. because it stood out from all the bland white ones.
I've done that way as well.
See? I love this.
I'm a bit of a sparkle girl, so I love things that I'm a bright color person. My nickname is Rainbow Bright.
I love it.
So I love to work with color. A lot of my quilting works with bright colors and
so cool. So I'm going to read the titles. So we've talked about some of these already. So Finnegan,
yes,
your dog.
Book 1.
Hide and Seek, that is
Roxy.
Roxy Roo.
Yes.
The Art of the Dodge
Is about Charlotte.
Charlotte. Charlotte's middle name is
Susie.
The Escape Artist,
Lila Marie.
Frisbee Fun,
Rascal Alexander.
and Little Digger.
Finnegan Charles.
Charles again.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, Little Digger. He must get very dirty.
Yes. He likes to dig.
Oh my goodness. And then Bad to the Bone, and this is
Stewie.
your neighbor's or your friend's dog.
Yes.
Your coworker's dog.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
So I have 3 more stories at least in my head, and then I have a new series already started but not published because I'm going to wait until the Doghouse series is finished.
Yeah.
Because I have made a little punch card that when you buy book 1, I punch book 1 on the
punch card?
On the punch card, and then when you get all 10 books in the series, then you have earned a dog keychain that are diamond painted that I'm already starting to make, but I haven't finished the series, so no one's getting them just yet.
Oh my god, how cute is that?
So I already have quite a few people that have all 7 books. It's kind of fun and exciting to collect them. You know, it becomes a little collector's thing.
That's so cute. You've thought of everything.
Well, you know what? It's a fun way to play.
Yeah.
I used to run a bookstore with my dad. I'm sorry, that's one thing that I did
Here
before
in town?
teaching. Yes.
Which?
Garden of Verses. And so the connection with Lily Garden Designs, Lily Garden Books, I put the Garden of Verses in there, and that was based on the book Garden of A Child's Garden of Verses by Robert Louis Stevenson, which is a book that I enjoyed.
Yes.
And so we called that bookstore, which is a New Age and natural health bookstore. And it was open for 3 years. And then when I got my full-time teaching job, I was teaching out of town at Searchmont. It was just too hard to run the classroom with multiple grades, plus the bookstore.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. Wow.
But it was a fun adventure. And you know what?
Yeah.
You got to play with different ideas for advertising and marketing. And
well, that's what I'm seeing here. Like, I'm seeing super awesome ideas for marketing, like with the keychains and the punch card and just the different things. And that's what I'm marveling at, because lots of times the writer will come in here and I'll say, you know, it would be a great marketing, but I have nothing to say to you because you've done it all.
It's just things that you think about and things that you listen to. I listen to Audible.
Yes.
So I love to, I love to learn.
Yes.
So I'm always learning self-help things on Audible, or that's right now I don't even have time to sit and read a book. I'm listening to books instead, because I can do quilting and listen to books. I'm still learning the entire time. So now I'm looking at, how do I market this? So right now the books are downstairs at Stone's. Yay.
Yes,
I'm very
Stone's.
excited.
Yes.
They are also displayed at Dark Horse Pet Boutique on 3rd Line.
Yes.
And I've done a few children's readings, so author readings on St. Joe's Island at the Children's Library and the museum on St. Joe's Island.
Very fun.
Chuck's family is very supportive too, so they mention it to people, and I'm invited to come and read.
That is so fun. Have you been invited to read to some former students?
Just when I was at my own school.
Yeah, yeah.
So the kids are already not bothering me. They are inspiring me to continue writing, and they're asking about more books, because I've been back to Parkland to help with the O Canada Choir, because we're doing I teach them the sign language for it, and then we go to the Greyhound game. So I've been doing that for years.
Do you sleep, Lily?
I taught with sign language too. I'm not a fully qualified sign language person, but it was a high interest for me after Teachers College. I took some sign language courses. It's fun to do the spelling. I like to teach with movement. So when I'm teaching, I always am moving my hands and doing certain signs. So that's a trigger when they are trying to remember something. It's another mnemonic technique. It's a great way to connect many different parts of your brain. So
Absolutely.
It's visual, audiological, and kinesthetic. So
again,
and
the
musical
passion for teaching.
Yes.
Wow. I had a question, but I don't even know what to ask anymore.
I'm sorry.
You're just
I'm sorry.
You're one of those people. So when you actually lay down to go to sleep, like
Yes.
for the maybe 3 minutes that you sleep each day, is your brain going constantly thinking, "Oh, that's a great idea I just had. I got to write that down." Like, do you sleep?
I do. But I am a quick thinker, Gemini. So I'm a quick thinker, and I'm always on the go. And
It's like you're always. It sounds like you are always thinking.
I am, but thinking and multitasking, I think, as well. That's as you get older, it maybe won't be as successful, but I can do it for now.
I was just going to say menopause took multitasking off the board for me, and maybe one day I'll get it back, but I can't multitask right now.
There's lots of things that you can do, and we can talk off.
You're
things.
teaching
I have
me
some
right
idea.
now.
I am. There's lots of things that you can do to help your brain.
Is it Sudoku?
No.
Oh, okay.
They're
My
actually
mother swears by Sudoku.
foods and vitamins can actually help
Oh,
you
yeah,
to keep
I lack healthy foods. Do. I like a good panzerotti. Okay, so we've got 7 here.
Yes.
What are the next 3?
I think book 8 will be Roxy Goes Quackers, and it's about, and I'm still writing this one. I have all of the ideas, but it's not flowing poetically yet, and I need it to, and otherwise I won't publish it until it's finished.
Right.
So I have all the stories outlined, or the ideas outlined, and it's about when Roxy went to my friend's camp. And there were these ducks that were at the beach, and she was the only dog that was there at the time. I only brought her, and she wanted to go and visit the ducks. She loves ducks. She has toy ducks, and she kept going down to the shore, and they would float away, and we'd call her back, and she'd come back. And Roxy is a Chihuahua pug, so she has those little pudgy legs, and she'd come back, and then she'd see, oh, they're on shore again, and she'd run down, and they would float away. So this story is about how she's problem solving, and she was problem solving. She looked to see how can she get closer to the ducks, and she found some slippery rocks, and she went out onto the slippery rocks and got stuck. So that's the problem that needed a solution.
I love that. So this is a true story too.
That it will be a true story.
Based on real events.
Yes.
Okay, so we've got Quackers. Now that's 8, 9.
9, I would love to tell the story about, and I don't have a title yet, the time that we all went camping, because we have a trailer that we like to go to Thunder Bay camping, and I was visiting friends and in Thunder Bay, so we were partway there, not even halfway there. We had just gotten up to about Pancake Bay, and we realized we did not bring the leashes. And it was like, oh, I thought you brought the leashes. We brought the collars, like the harnesses, but we didn't bring the actual leashes. And we're like, we're going to have to turn around. He says, I'm not turning around. He says, let's go to the store and we'll get some leashes. Okay. So we got those very long leashes, and we got 5. And then we found out who the good dog was, because one of the leashes didn't work, and they were all the same color, so we didn't put it aside or anything. And they all got loose at one point, and we found out who was the good dog.
Who's the good dog?
Yeah. You know what? Rascal was pretty good. He's older.
What's Rascal's middle name?
Alexander.
Rascal Alexander.
Yeah. So he was pretty good. It unclipped from him, and he just kind of went, oh, and he stopped and he goes, it's unclipped.
He's basically telling you it's I'm unsafe now, Mom.
Lila left and went, see ya. And we were in the campground at the time. You cannot have your dog off leash in the campground. And this was at Rainbow Falls near Rossport. And you cannot have it. We were chasing her.
Oh my goodness.
And this is a Chihuahua. She's small. She can hide under stuff. We're like,
That is hilarious. I love that. Okay, so that's 9.
Yep.
Do you have an idea for 10?
Of course.
Of course you do. What is it?
We're still working on that, because there could be more than 10 in the series. But right now I only have 10 in your
whole punch.
In my whole punch card. My punch card.
Marketing scheme.
That's right.
I love that.
Yeah.
And so a lot of your stories, well, most of them are taken from real life. And,
yes.
And I always say,
you should always write what you know.
I always say, write what you know, but I also always say there's a story everywhere. And I led with that at the beginning of the interview because, when I interviewed the author, Jennifer from Goose on a Roof, I said, how'd you come up with the story? She said, well, one day I saw a goose on a roof. I'm like, well, that makes sense. Well, why not, right? There are stories everywhere. You just have to open your eyes to them.
Exactly.
Now, this is the Doghouse
series.
The Doghouse series.
Then we'll have the Birdhouse series. I've already written one about Pip and May, two birds that visit my friend Dorothy. So I've already written that story. It's ready to go.
I love that.
But I'm not publishing it until I'm done the Doghouse series because that's not fair.
You have to be in order. As a teacher, you have to be in order and organized.
Well, it's not fair to publish a new series when people want to finish this series first with the punch card. So I'll wait and work on that. And then, my husband and I were thinking, well, I'm sure that we're going to be writing some kitty cat stories as well, but we don't want to call it a cat house series because,
that means something else.
Yeah, so we're going to call it Kitty Corner.
Love it.
And so that's what we're thinking for that.
Do you have cats?
No, we do not.
So you're going to have to make up stories or ask friends.
We have friends that have a dog and a cat story that I'm already starting to write that one.
Of course.
And that one's Rosie and Lucy, and they're about being best friends.
So. I love that. Now, how do you publish these? Now, you do them through Canva.
I do, and then it comes as a PDF. So I have printed one hard copy through Canva of the Finnegan story, which is awesome. But that would be way too expensive to have hard copies, hardcover copies of all of them. Yeah. So I went to a local printer and Cliff Printing, a big shout out to them. They do a fantastic job. They can print the 9-inch books, which is perfect for fitting into the acrylic shelving that I have, which is how I display the books at a craft show or how they are displayed at the
you have to think
pet
about
store.
You are 5 steps ahead. It sounds like you don't stop. This is crazy.
Everything in my life has led to this, I believe.
Yes.
Running a bookstore, being a teacher, writing my whole life.
Dog owner?
Yeah. Yes.
Don't forget the dog.
No, never forget the dogs.
Well, one thing that you didn't think of, or maybe you have, but I don't see it here.
Okay.
Plushies
of
every dog.
I would have to explore that. That's a great idea.
I know. See, okay, I'm glad I could help with a little bit of marketing.
Thank you.
You seem to have thought of everything, but my goodness. Okay, so right now you did mention Downstairs at Stones.
Yes.
Where else are these available to purchase?
Dark Horse Pet Boutique.
Correct. Yes, you said
and that. Right now, just from myself.
Okay.
So.
And how do people get a hold of you?
Yes, I have an email, not a website.
Okay,
I'm building the website still.
Yeah.
But the email is lilygardenbooks, and that's all one word, @gmail.com.
Okay. So if anybody was listening and they wanted some books for Christmas.
Yes. I have a Christmas package, actually.
Oh, tell us about it, Lily.
I have those boxes from the dollar store that fit these books as a set. So you can get all 7 for $100.
Wow.
Each book I'm selling at usually $15. But this is a little bit less, obviously, if you do a
buy
set.
all 7.
Yes.
So they're right now all 7 are available.
Yep.
And when do you suppose you'll have 8, 9, and 10?
Good question.
Is this like, I'm not sure the timeline?
It'll be in the 2025, I believe, because we have some other things going on right now. So.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yes.
Okay. And so all 7 of these are available at Stones.
Yes.
For $15 each.
Yep.
And if somebody wanted, let's just say somebody bought them at Stones and wanted to get a hold of you to sign them.
They're all signed.
All of them are signed.
I pre-sign just because that saves me time at a craft show.
Yes.
That way in my writing is nice.
Yes.
Because I've taken my time.
Right.
And inside each book, I always put a positive statement. So for the Finnegan book, it says, always make a difference, happy reading, with my name. And then for the Roxy book, it's a different phrase for each book.
Of course it is, because you're trying to teach.
Make today amazing, happy reading. It always says happy reading, because that's, you always want to tell people.
Believe that you can and you will. Happy reading. I love that.
So think of positive statements, and that way you're putting positivity into the world, right?
Absolutely. And I think, I love the paw print there. I think more people need to follow your lead. And I love this, and I love the paw print.
I had a stamp, but that was taking too long, so I had Cliff Printing take my stamp and make it a formal printout.
You did, yeah.
But I had to put stickers in the beginning because this was the copy that I already had it done.
Right,
so I could either stamp it with my stamp or put a sticker. So I have a paw print sticker. So
I love this. So
they're super fun.
They are super fun.
And the kids really enjoy them. So
well, of course they do, because they're super cute. Now, I do want to touch on quick. I want to touch on the illustrations, because you did those as well.
Through Canva. Yeah, and they have an AI element. AI has, negative connotations for lots of people. So I just explained that these are computer generated pictures. You, in that element through Canva, you would type in the phrase. So you would, with Finnegan, I think I typed in the words of little white Pomeranian dog. And then it will give me 4 pictures to choose from, and whichever ones fit
your vision,
my vision, then that's what I choose. Otherwise I say generate again.
Okay. Well, so, I can't wait to get home and start looking at some Canva stuff, because you should be like a spokesperson for Canva.
You know what? The kids in my class used it with me. After I started writing these books, I said, you can do it too. I said, let me show you how we're doing
8-year-olds?
6 and 7.
Wow.
Yeah. And they did quilting with me too, so
they're obviously advanced. So also at Parkdale, Parkland, you mentioned that the librarian there has a bin for you, all your books. So if your kids go to Parkland, it's very easy for them to find Lily Kangas books, because there's a special bin.
That's right.
I love that. And who's the librarian there?
Shannon.
Okay. But we call her Miss... No.
I can't remember her last name.
Okay.
I'm so sorry.
That's okay. So if your kids go to Parkland, get them to go to the bin and go see Miss Shannon.
The kids know
where
the books in the library, and even the big kids, because I've taught everybody at Parkland. I had been there for 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So I've taught everybody at Parkland. So they have all borrowed them at one time, and even the big kids listen to them, and it's exciting that they really want to look at them and read them. And you know what? I hope to inspire.
Well, you've inspired me. I'm inspired.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much. Are you doing any vendor shows between now and Christmas?
I just finished one at the Water Tower. Unfortunately, it was after that big weather event, and it wasn't very busy. And I was sad that it wasn't very busy, because I really would love to have been able to highlight the books at the table.
It's nice to touch base with your customers.
Exactly.
I love it. Well, Lily Kangas, thank you so much for joining me. I've learned more than I've learned in the last year, I think, about writing books and Canva and all that wonderful stuff. We've already mentioned where you can get Lily's books at Stones and Dark Horse
Pet Boutique on Third Line. Okay. And make sure you get out and get some of the Doghouse series. Thanks so much, Lily. Thank you for having me.
Not a problem. It's been really fun. We've been with Lily Kangas, children's book author, teacher, quilter, and thinker extraordinaire. I don't know where you find your time. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Lisa Tucker. We are on the book cover, on the borderline. And just remember, don't judge a book by its cover.
This is Lily Kangas of Lily Garden Books, children's author of the Doghouse series. You can find these fun stories at Stone's Office Supply on Queen and at Dark Horse Pet Boutique on Third Line. You can also purchase these books directly from me at lilygardenbooks@gmail.com. You can listen to my podcast, On the Book Cover with Lisa Tucker, on the Borderline, or wherever you listen to podcasts.